In the most neighboring countries, life is much more expensive than in Germany. These are the EU countries with the highest cost of living. If you want to move abroad with a German salary, you should look carefully at the cost of living there beforehand. In some parts of Europe, they are over a third above the price level in Germany. In two countries, spending on food, housing and energy was around 50% higher in 2019. When it comes to the cost of living, German citizens get away cheaply compared to their direct neighbors. Only in Poland and the Czech Republic, you had to pay less for this in 2019, as the Federal Statistical Office announced. The Statistical Office of the European Union, Eurostat, published its preliminary results on purchasing power parities and comparative price levels in June. And in 10th place, it's Germany. In 2019, Germany ranked 10th among the 27 EU countries among the countries with the most expensive cost of living. According to Eurostat, the price level was 6.8% above the EU-wide average, and that's mostly due to energy costs. This made Germany the penultimate country ahead of Italy with plus 2.7% to exceed the EU average. Spain in 13th place was 3.4 percentage points lower. Worldwide, of course, life in Germany is comparatively expensive. The price level of private consumption expenditure in 2017 was around 27.5% above the average of 176 countries, as Eurostat announced, citing figures from the World Bank. In 9th place, it's Austria. Moving to Austria generally does not save money for German citizens. Spending on food, housing and energy in our neighboring country was most recently 13% above the EU average. That was almost twice the value that Germany came up with. In 8th place, it's France. The cost of living in France exceeded the EU-wide average by 14.1% in 2019. That meant 8th place on the list of the most expensive countries in the European Union. On 7th place, it's Belgium. Belgium came in 7th, just ahead of France. According to Eurostat, the price level of private consumer spending was 14.7% above the EU average. In 6th place, it's the Netherlands. No wonder that many Dutch people shop in Germany. In 2019, goods and services were around 16.5% more expensive in our neighboring country than in the EU as a whole. In 5th place, it's Sweden. Sweden recently had to spend a fifth, that means 20.6% more, on their consumption than the average EU citizen. They were just ahead of the United Kingdom with 21.2%. But the UK, of course, does not rank in this list anymore because they have left the European Union on January 31st. In 4th place, it's Finland. Finns spent over a quarter more on living expenses than Swedes in 2019. Also, in comparison with the EU as a whole, Finland recorded an increase of more than a quarter, that means 26.7%. In view of the top trio, they came off almost cheaply. Because in 3rd place there's Luxembourg. The price level for consumer spending in Luxembourg was recently 31.1% above the EU average. The plus was almost 5 times higher than in Germany. And in 2nd place it's Ireland. In Ireland, life was a third, 33.7% exactly, more expensive than in the European Union as a whole. But that wasn't nearly enough for the top spot. But for me it's good to know. I always wanted to visit Ireland and I still intend to do so when the whole pandemic is over. But good to know that I have to bring a lot of cash with me. And in the top position on 1st place, it's Denmark. Well, probably not the first place you want to get, but still. If you want to move to Denmark, you need a typical salary. According to Eurostat, the cost of living was 41.3% above the EU average in 2019. That was the highest value in the Union, but by no means in Europe. Denmark was topped by 3 countries which are not EU members. Norway was 49.5% above the EU average. Iceland came in at 54.3%. And Switzerland was the lone leader. Life there was almost 2/3 more expensive than in the entire Union. At 62%, Switzerland was almost 10 times higher than Germany's. And Germany had 6.8% above average. And Switzerland 62%. And if you now want to know more about European politics, YouTube has chosen another of my videos right here for you in the end screen, right next to your chance to subscribe to my channel, which I hope you already did. I'll see you in my next video. Click and enjoy. Viel Spaß!